Hello students, welcome once again. Hope all are fine. This is our last session for our example number 1. In example number 1, till now we have done the preliminary dimensioning of retaining wall as well as stability check of our retaining wall, and we have gone for the design of our stem slab. In this lecture, we will design heel slab, toe slab and key slab. Our step number 5 is design of heel slab. The diagram on left hand side of our screen is a soil pressure diagram which we have derived in our stability check number 3. Seeing the soil pressure diagram, it is observed that point A is having a pressure intensity of 153.31 kN per meter square, and point B is having a pressure intensity of 18.77 kN per meter square. It is observed that the pressure increases from B towards A in a linear form. Hence, we can derive a pressure intensity at point C and at point D using the linear interpolation method. First of all, we will derive a pressure intensity at point C. To get a pressure intensity at point C, we will use the reference pressure at point A and at point B. Here, this is a methodology to obtain the pressure at point C using a linear interpolation method. We can say that if we move a distance of 3.30 meter from point B towards A, the pressure increases by 134.54 kN per meter square. Therefore, if we move from point B towards A for a distance of 2.30 meter, the pressure intensity will increase by a value Y1. Therefore, we will get Y1 is equals to 134.54 into 2.3 divided by 3.30 gives the value as 93.77 kN per meter square. This is the pressure intensity increase at point C with reference to point B. But we are having an initial pressure of 18.77 kN, which will be added to this Y1 value, which is 73.77 kN per meter square. The total pressure at point C will be 112.54 kN per meter square. In the same line of action, we will get a pressure intensity at point D. Using same linear interpolation method, we will get a Y2 value as 77.46 kN per meter square. This is the increase in pressure with reference to point B. Therefore, total pressure at point D will be 77.49 kN per meter square plus 18.77 kN per meter square will give a total value of 96.23 kN per meter square. Now we get a pressure intensity at point C and at point D. This pressure intensity will be used for our design of heel slab and toe slab. In the diagram, you may have noticed that I have not drawn the key slab. Since it is not having any role in design of heel slab, I have not drawn the key slab in the diagram. Height of backfill will be equal to the overall height of retaining wall minus the base thickness, as we have done it previously. Hence, the total height of backfill or total height of stem slab will be equal to 5.7 meter. Total downward pressure on heel slab will be equal to weight of backfill plus self weight of heel slab. Weight of backfill can be obtained by multiplying the density of soil into the length of retaining wall considered into height of the backfill. Here, soil density given is 18 kN per meter cube. We are considering 1 meter length of retaining wall as assumed previously. Height of backfill is 5.70 as obtained above. The product of these three will give the weight of backfill. Plus, sulfate of hill slab can be calculated by volume of concrete into density of concrete. Here, thickness of base slab is 0.5 meter. We are considering 1 meter length of retaining wall. It's 0.5 into 1 into 25 is the density of concrete. The addition of these two values, that is weight of backfill plus sulfate of hill slab, will give a value equal to 115.10 kilonewton per meter width of a retaining wall. This width is to be considered from D towards B. This 115.10 kilonewton force is acting in a vertical downward direction. Now, to calculate the total upward pressure or upward force due to a soil pressure, we are supposed to consider a portion of length dB of our soil pressure diagram. dB is this value. The value between 96.23 kilonewton per meter square to 18.77 kilonewton per meter square. This much soil pressure diagram is acting in upward direction on hill slab. Therefore, the net pressure are calculated as shown below. The first rectangle diagram shows the pressure intensity of weight of backfill plus sulfate of hill slab in a vertical downward direction. Point D and point B are having an equal pressure intensity of 115.10 kilonewton per meter square. While this portion shows the soil pressure diagram or soil pressure intensity between point D and point B. Point D is having a pressure intensity of 96.23 kN per meter square, while point B is having a pressure intensity of 18.77 kN per meter square. This pressure diagram is acting in a vertical upward direction. Summation of these two diagrams, that is the weight of backfill and hill slab plus soil pressure diagram, will give the net pressure diagram. If we add the pressure intensity at point D, we will get a value equals to 18.87 kilonewton per meter square. This value is obtained by subtracting 96.23 kilonewton per meter square from 115.10 kilonewton per meter square. 115 is acting in a vertical downward while 96.23 is acting vertically upward. Therefore, 115.10 minus 96.23 will give 18.87 kilonewton per meter square in a vertical downward direction. In the same line, if we add the pressure intensity at point D, that is 115.10 in vertical downward direction minus 18.77 kilonewton per meter square in a vertical upward direction, will give a net force of 96.33 kilonewton per meter square in a vertical downward direction. Since the hill slab is continuous at point D, we will consider point D as a fixed end. We will use this derived net pressure diagram in our subsequent design procedure. This net pressure diagram is made up of two shapes, one is rectangle and one is triangle. This rectangle portion is having a constant pressure intensity of 18.87 kilonewton per meter square. This triangle portion is having a varying pressure intensity, where the pressure intensity at point T for this triangle portion is 0 and pressure intensity at point B in this triangle portion is having a value 77.46 kilonewton per meter square. Now we will go for an calculation of maximum bending moment about point D. This can be obtained by multiplying the area of this rectangle into CG distance of this triangle from point D plus area of this triangle into CG distance of this triangle from point D. This will be equals to 18.87 into 1.9. 1.9 is the distance between D and B. Will give the area of this rectangle portion into the CG distance of this rectangle portion from point D is 1.9 divided by 2 plus area of this triangle, that will be equals to 1 half base, that is 77.46 kilonewton per meter square, into height, that's length, that is 1.9 meter, into CG distance of this triangle from point D is 2/3 of 1.9. The value of maximum bending moment comes out to be 127.27 kilonewton meter per meter length of retaining wall. Therefore, factored bending moment at point D will be equals to 1.5 into m, that is 127.27, will give 190.90 kilonewton meter per meter length of retaining wall. Now the shear force will be equals to the area of this rectangle plus area of this triangle. This will be equals to 18.87 into 1.9, that is the area of rectangle, plus 1 half 77.46 into 1.90 is the area of triangle. The value comes out to be 109.44 kilonewton per meter length of retaining wall. Again, factored shear force will be equals to 164.16 kilonewton per meter length of retaining wall, which is obtained by multiplying the nominal shear force into 1.5. Now let's consider the effective cover as 50 mm. Therefore, the effective depth will be equals to 500, which is the overall depth of base slab, minus 50, that is the effective cover, will give 450 mm, which is the effective depth of base slab. Again, calculating the value of mu upon BD square, where mu is the ultimate moment, which is equals to 127.27 into 10 raised to 6, which is derived in our previous slide. Here we have converted kilonewton meter into newton mm, divided by 1000, that is the considered length of our retaining wall, into 450, that is the effective depth of our base slab. The value comes out to be 0.62. Using table number 2 given on page number 48 of SP16 and interpolating, this is the image of table number 2 given on page number 48. We are having an mu upon BD square as 0.62. This 0.62 lies between 0.60 and 0.65. For FY415, we are having two value, 0.172 for 0.6 and 0.187 for 0.65. I have isolated the two value of 0.6 and 0.65 in this table. Let's see how to interpolate in the calculator. Here we are supposed to determine the value corresponding to 0.62, which lies between 0.6 and 0.65. Let's use the calculator for our linear interpolation method. First of all, we have to change our mode to our regression mode, that is 2, in which we are supposed to go for a linear interpolation, that is 1. Now we are supposed to input our values. Here our value is 0.6, therefore it's 0.6 and corresponding value is 0.172.
0.172. Then press comma and 0.172. Go for a memory plus. Our next value is 0.65 and our corresponding value is 0.187. Therefore type 0.65 comma 0.187. Then again memory plus. We are supposed to find the value corresponding to 0.62. Now after typing 0.62, press shift, then these two, and press 1, 2 and 3 times this forward button and in this 2, and in this value, the 2 value, press 3 times the forward button and then 2, then equal to. This value comes out to be 178.
It is observed that while interpolating the value, we get the value of PT as 0.178%. The corresponding value of steel will be equals to, that is PT divided by 100 into B into D, that is 0.178 divided by 100 into 1000 into 450 gives 801 mm square per meter length of retaining wall. This is the required tensile steel in our hill slab. 801 mm square will be equals to 8.01 centimeter square. Here we are supposed to distribute this 8.01 centimeter square of steel in 1 meter length of retaining wall in our hill slab. This can be done by using table number 96 located on page number 230 of SP6. Here for 12 mm dia reinforcement and for spacing of 14 centimeter, we can see that the area per meter width will be equals to 8.01 centimeter square, which is somewhat greater than our required 8.01 centimeter square. Therefore, we will provide 12 mm dia bar about 140 mm center to center at the top face of hill slab, that is towards D-B face. Hence here we are providing the area of steel is 8.08 centimeter square or 808 mm square per meter length of retaining wall. Now the percentage of distribution reinforcement will be equals to 0.12% of the overall cross sectional area, as we have seen in our stem slab design. Therefore, here we are supposed to use the overall cross-sectional area, hence that is an overall depth and not an effective depth. AST will be equals to 0.12 divided by 100 into B, that is 1000, that is the length of our retaining wall, into D, that is an overall depth of our cross section, that is 500. This comes out to be 600 mm square or 6 centimeter square. Again using same table given on page number 230, table number 96, we will get 10 mm dia bars to be distributed at a spacing of 130 mm center to center in a second layer towards the top face of the hill slab. Also provide 0.06% of steel in either direction as a temperature and shrinkage steel at the bottom face of the hill slab, that is towards the DB face. AST for 0.06% comes out to be 3 cm square per meter length of retaining wall. Again using same table number 96 given on page number 230 in SP16, we can see that 10 mm dia bars at a spacing of 230 mm center to center will be enough to satisfy our requirement. This reinforcement will serve the purpose against temperature and shrinkage at the bottom face of the slab. The reinforcement is provided like this. Here 12 mm dia reinforcement is our main tensile reinforcement. This red dot is our distribution reinforcement, which is equals to 10 torr about 130 mm center to center. This is towards the top face of the hill slab. Again 10 torr about 260 mm center to center is towards the bottom face of the hill slab. This reinforcement is provided in both directions, this direction and in perpendicular to the screen direction. This dot is perpendicular to the screen and this is parallel to the horizontal. These both steel are of diameter 10 torr and are at a spacing of 260 mm center to center, which are provided as in temperature and shrinkage steel. Again, this 12 mm dia bar is to be extended beyond D dash towards toe, a value equals to development length in tension, which comes out to be 564 mm or 56.4 centimeter. The value of LDT for 12 mm can be derived from table number 65, page number 184 of SP16. Now we are supposed to check for shear capacity. The factor shear as derived earlier is 164.16 kN. Therefore, shear stress will be equals to Vu upon Bd. Vu, that is 164.16 into 10 raised to 3 converted from kilonewton to newton divided by 1000 into 450 is the effective depth. The value comes out to be 0.3648 Newton per mm square. Steel which we have provided as a tensile reinforcement is 808 mm square per meter. In percentage form, this value will be equals to 0.18%. Again, using table number 19, page number 73, given in IS 456-2000, that is this table, we are supposed to interpolate between these two values, that is 0.15 and 0.25. Our value lies somewhere between these two values, that is 0.18. For 0.15 and for M20, we are having a design shear strength capacity of concrete as 0.28. For 25, we are having a design shear strength capacity for M20 grade concrete is 0.36. Using these four values, we will interpolate and try to find a value for 0.18, which will lie between these two values. I have isolated these four values in this table. Again, we will go for an interpolation using our calculator.
Here we are supposed to interpolate between 0.15 to 0.25. The value corresponding to 0.15 is 0.28 and value corresponding to 0.25 is 0.35. Here we are supposed to determine the value corresponding to 0.18. Again, using the calculator, we will go for an interpolation. First, we will go for an regression mode, that is 2. In that, we will go for a linear interpolation, that is 1. We will input the value 0.15 and then we will go for a comma. And the corresponding value for 0.15 is 0.28. We will go for 0.28, then memory plus. Again, another value is 0.25, comma, 0.35, memory plus. Now we are supposed to type 0.18, the value which we require. After that, we will go for a shift to forward, 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 and again 2. Then equal to. The value is equals to 0.301. This is our required value.
The interpolated value comes out to be 0.304 Newton per mm square. This is our concrete capacity, which is smaller than our demand, this is tau V, which is equals to 0.3648 Newton per mm square. Hence, we can say that our section is not safe against shear. Either we are supposed to increase the depth of a section, that in turns will decrease the value of tau V, or we are supposed to increase the percentage of tensile reinforcement, that will increase the tau C value. Now we will move towards our sixth step, that is the design of toe slab. It is in a same line as we have designed our heel slab. Here the total downward pressure will be only the self-weight of toe slab. It is obtained by multiplying the density of concrete with the thickness of toe slab. The value comes out to be 12.5 kN per meter length of retaining wall. Again, to calculate the upward pressure of soil, we will consider a portion AC of our soil pressure diagram derived previously. And the net pressure calculation will be as below. The first portion of the diagram represents the self-weight of the toe slab, which acts vertically in a downward direction. The pressure intensity of 12.5 kN per meter square is of constant nature. That is, at point A and at point C, we are having a same pressure of 12.5 kN per meter square. The second part of the diagram represents the AC portion of the soil pressure diagram. Here at point A, we are having a vertically upward pressure intensity of 153.31 kN per meter square, and at point C, we are having upward pressure intensity of 112.54 kN per meter square. Adding these two diagrams, we will get a net pressure diagram in which our pressure intensity at point A will be equals to 140.81 kN per meter square, and pressure intensity at point C will be 100.04 kN per meter square. Here, since toe slab is continuous at point C, we will consider point C as our fixed support. Here also our net pressure diagram can be divided into two shapes. One is of rectangle shape having a pressure intensity of 100.04 kN per meter square, and one is in triangle portion having a base intensity of 40.77 kN per meter square. The bending moment at point C can be found by multiplying the area of rectangle into CG distance of rectangle from point C plus area of triangle into CG distance of triangle from point C. Here, area of rectangle can be found by multiplying 100.01 into 1, where 1 is the distance between point A and point C, into the CG distance of this rectangle portion from point C will be equals to 1 by 2. Area of this triangle will be equals to 1 half into 1 into 40.77 into CG distance of this triangle from point C will be equals to 2/3 of 1. Addition of these two values will give a value equals to 63.61 kN meter per meter length of retaining wall. Again, factored mu comes out to be 95.41 kN meter per meter length of wall. Shear force can be calculated by summing up the area of this rectangle and area of this triangle. Area of this rectangle is 100.04 into 1 plus area of this triangle will be equals to 1 half 1 into 40.77. Value of nominal shear comes out to be 120.42 kN, and factored shear Vu will be equals to 180.63 kN. Now let's consider the effective cover as 50 mm. Therefore, effective depth will be equals to 450 mm. The value of mu upon BD square, where mu is 63.61 into 10 raised to 6, which I have converted kilonewton meter into Newton mm, divided by 1000 is the length of retaining wall, into 450 is the effective depth of retaining wall. It's 450 square. This value comes out to be 0.31. Again, using table number 2 given on page number 48 of SP16 and interpolating, percentage PT comes out to be 0.0878 percentage and corresponding AST will be equals to 396 mm square. But the minimum percentage of reinforcement to be provided is 0.12% of an overall cross-sectional area. Therefore, AST minimum will be equals to 0.12 divided by 100 into 1000 into overall cross-sectional area. We are having overall depth as 500 mm is equals to 600 mm square. Therefore, our required AST from our previous slide is equals to 396 mm square, which is smaller than a minimum percentage of steel, which comes out to be 600 mm square. Hence, provide minimum area of steel of 600 mm square. Again, using table number 96 given on page number 230 of SP16, we can see that 10 mm dia bars about 130 mm center to center will satisfy our area requirement of 600 mm square. This steel is to be provided at the bottom face of the slab, i.e. on AC face. This is your AC face. This is the bottom face. This blue reinforcement is our main tensile reinforcement, which is of diameter 10 mm and is placed at 130 mm center to center. This 10 mm dia bar, which is represented in the blue line, is to be extended beyond C dash towards the heel for a length equals to its development length, which is equals to 47 cm or 470 mm, which is derived from table number 65. Page number 184 of SP16. Now, distribution steel is also provided 0.12% of overall cross-sectional area. That is equals to 600 mm square, same as above. Again, the diameter and spacing are also same as above, but this steel is provided at bottom face, perpendicular to the main steel and in a second layer. This red dot is this distribution steel 10 torr about 140 mm center to center is in a second layer in a bottom face and is perpendicular to the main reinforcement. The main reinforcement is represented by blue line. This 10 torr red dot is perpendicular to the screen. Now also provide 0.06% steel in either direction as temperature steel and shrinkage steel at the top face of the toe slab. This comes somewhere about 3 cm square per meter length of retaining wall. Therefore, we will provide 10 mm dia bar at 260 mm center to center as temperature and shrinkage steel at the top face of the toe slab. This red line and this red dot on the top face of the toe slab are temperature and shrinkage steel. They are of diameter 10 mm and are placed at 260 mm center to center. This red line and a red dot. Now this is our last step. Here we are supposed to design our key slab. We are supposed to provide minimum percentage of steel as 0.12%. This can be satisfied by continuing our reinforcement of stem in our key slab. Hence, we will continue all the steel of our stem slab into the key slab also. Now we will see the overall detailing of our cantilever retaining wall. This is a typical reinforcement detailing of our cantilever retaining wall. All reinforcement shown in yellow color are our main tensile reinforcement. All reinforcement shown in a magenta color are our distribution reinforcement. All reinforcement shown by a white color are our temperature and shrinkage reinforcement. Here in stem slab, this yellow color reinforcement is our main tensile reinforcement, which is 12 torr about 110 mm center to center. We have provided a curtailment, and the curtailment point lies at a height of 1800 mm from the top of the base slab. After that, our main tensile reinforcement spacing get increased by 220 mm center to center. The text of this magenta color steel is missing in this diagram. It is 8 torr about 130 mm center to center. This acts as an distribution steel. On the opposite side of backfill, we are having a temperature steel and shrinkage steel. This temperature and shrinkage steel we have derived as 8 torr about 130 mm center to center. Here I have made a mistake in which I have provided 0.12% steel in both directions. Actually, it should be 0.06% in a vertical direction and 0.06% in a horizontal direction. Therefore, this spacing gets revised to 260 mm center to center. Therefore, you are supposed to revise the spacing of this steel. Hence, our new spacing will be 8 torr about 260 mm center to center both way. That's a vertical and horizontal steel. Now, looking at the heel slab, we can say that our main tensile reinforcement is 12 torr about 140 mm center to center, which is located on the top face of our heel slab. This magenta color steel is our distribution steel, which is 10 torr about 130 mm center to center. On the bottom face of the heel slab, we are having a temperature as well as shrinkage steel as 10 torr about 260 mm center to center. Our main tensile reinforcement, which is of 12 mm dia, is to be extended beyond D dash towards toe to the length equals to the development length of a 12 mm dia, which we have calculated in our numerical. Considering the toe side, the main reinforcement is 10 torr about 130 mm center to center and is to be extended for a length equals to its development length from point C towards our heel slab. The distribution reinforcement is 10 torr about 130 mm center to center. Both these steels are placed on the bottom face of the toe slab. On top face of toe slab, we are supposed to provide a temperature and shrinkage steel which is of dia 8 torr and a spacing of 260 mm center to center. These steels are in the both way. This is the horizontal steel as well as the steel perpendicular to the screen. Here I would like to make a note that this temperature and shrinkage steel does not require any development length. Now let's go for a longitudinal cross section of a stem slab to get a better understanding of this curtailed steel. This is the longitudinal view of our stem slab. In this, our reinforcement below curtailment point is having a spacing of 110 mm. The diameter is 12 mm. The curtailment point is 1800 mm above the base slab top. Here half of the reinforcements gets curtailed and half of the reinforcements are continued beyond this curtailment point. Therefore, above spacing will be twice than that of the spacing below the curtailment point. Therefore, above spacing of our main tensile reinforcement, which is of diameter 12 mm, are placed at an center to center spacing of 220 mm. I hope this gives a clear understanding of reinforcement placement in cantilever retaining wall. With this, we conclude our lecture. Thank you.